Hello, everybody, and welcome to Outside the Box, the podcast devoted to supporting Central PA's small business. I am your host, Derek Bichler, realtor and digital marketing geek right here in Central PA. I grew up on the Hill. I'm moving my things too fast. I grew up on the Hill, went to Mechanicsburg High School, went up to Penn College of Technology in Williamsport for college, and have been here ever since. Had a few sales jobs before I started selling real estate 15 years ago. If you need to buy or sell a home, please contact me. We really need houses for sale. Inventory is really low and prices are way up, so it's a seller's market for sure. Text me, email me, throw a rock through my window, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do, please reach out and let me know if you need to sell your house. If you want to subscribe to our email list, go to supportcentralpa.com to get networking mixer updates, invites, and episode announcements and exclusive special offers. And if you are on Clubhouse, and we'll be on Clubhouse right after this episode, 1 to 2, every Thursday, 1 to 2. If you're on Clubhouse, follow me. I'm at Agent Derek. And like I said, Central PA Small Business Connect room is today, 1 to 2. You can go in there and connect with other people in Central PA, other business owners and network. And if you need an invite, let me know. I've got a few sitting there. It's Apple only, an invite, but hit me up if you need an invite. And a reminder to ask a question in the comments if you have a question, or if you know either of us. Sorry, Tim over here. I didn't even say anything, and I pointed the wrong way again. We got Tim from Hotheads hanging out. So if you know Tim, please drop something in the comments or leave a question. And if we don't see it during the show, we will come back later and answer everything. And a reminder that all the replays are on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and soon on iTunes and all the audio platforms and all that stuff. And now I will shut up and let Tim come in and tell us a little bit about himself personally before we get into the business. So hello, Tim. Thanks for being here. Tell us about yourself.
Thanks for having me. Tim Myers, grew up in central Pennsylvania, Carlisle, PA. Graduated there, went to HACC for 2 years for visual art and design. After that, got going in a band for a good while. And started with art, but I kind of got locked into it. It was paying the bills, but it wasn't recording. And started homebrewing. I got 1 or 2 professional gigs brewing beer for a couple years there, and in that time I started doing the hot sauce, and here we are.
So in the band, did you play an instrument in high school, or did you play sports, or what'd you do growing up?
Senior year, my friend played guitar. I started playing guitar. We formed a band, and that was about it. Played a couple shows around, but nothing too crazy.
And then, so how many people were in the band?
There was 4 people, all from high school, pretty much. Except the bass player was kind of the tough thing. We had some going in and out, but it was a good time. We recorded like 3 different times, and it was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was the band's name?
It had a few names: Imodium, Fauna, and finally the Pears, like the fruit.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Pears. Yeah. And you studied visual arts in HACC. Did you have some plan or something you envisioned you were going to do with that?
Yeah, I don't know, marketing was kind of on my mind a little bit, but I just like to do everything, really, drawing, painting, ceramics, it's just fun to create, and I was always fairly good at it growing up, so I was just, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I went for that.
So when you started making sauces, did you always like sauces? Have you always had a thing for hot stuff, or how'd you even get started with that?
It was probably just wings, barbecue sauce, started getting hotter, everything like that. It was really, just probably Hot Ones helped with it when that show started on YouTube. And just the craft beer. And then when I finally found hot sauce, I kind of was I see similarities between the craft beer, craft hot sauce. I thought, no, maybe I could do that as well.
Yeah, there's craft everything right now. There's a huge boom in that, and shopping local and all that stuff. So it's probably a great time for you and all the other craft hot sauce makers that pair good with craft wines and beers and all that stuff. What was the first sauce that you made? Did you start with a specific one?
The first one was this one, the Sweet Wave, the mango and jalapeno. it's very mild because back then I really wasn't going for the super hot stuff. I think it's like a natural progression that you like keep going hotter and hotter. You know what I mean? You got to get used to it. Same with a lot of other things like that.
And how'd you learn how to make it? You just Google it or start cooking some stuff up, or what? How do you even know where to begin with something like that?
Yeah, I just did reading. I searched the internet. I watched videos on how to do it, and then I just started kind of doing my own version of what I thought would be good. I basically make it for me. You know, I'm glad other people love it too, but I was like, well, as long as I love it, then hopefully other people will love it.
Are there certain ingredients that are in most of your hot sauces, or are they all completely separate, or are they some core ingredients that then get changed up a little bit per hot sauce?
Yeah, try to do something different with each, but a lot of them do have sweet onion, bell pepper. You know, it's really important to make the sauce balanced, but with like your salt, your acid, your sweetness, your heat. Yeah, so I don't know. I just got a knack for it, I guess.
And is this something that you cook up on a stove that you have to heat up, or are these cold ingredients, or how does that work? And then with the first one, I'm guessing it was literally like a pot on your stove or something, and not some commercial thing that you bought. So how did you physically make it that first time?
Yeah, like basically it's just me. I make everything by hand. I go and pick the peppers, whatever. I do it also, and basically, yeah, it's started out on a stove, and basically I do like a bunch of different test batches. So I usually start with one, see how that is, and I could end up with like 15 test batches before I'm happy. You know, who knows? Or I'm making it and I just throw it all out because I'm like, this doesn't work. You know what I mean? Move on to something else. So, but that's like one of the best parts for me is the creative aspect of that.
And do you keep track of when you're trying a new sauce like that? Do you keep track of, like, I put 1 cup of onions and 1 cup of this, and then number 2 has only half a cup of onions and a tablespoon of this, or how does that work?
Like brewing a beer, you have to like measure your ingredients exactly. Because if you don't, then you can taste it, but you might not exactly know what you did to make it better or worse. And it's just been a learning process over time of like what works well.
And does it scale well? If you make a small batch in a pot or something and it tastes good, can you then just multiply it and make a huge batch? Or is there some kind of, does it work that way? I know some stuff you can't just do that. It has to change a little bit.
Yeah, for the most part, it probably that way to scale up. But you might run into some problems with certain ingredients.
But most of the stuff you're making is small enough that you don't have to worry about that, and you're filling the bottles yourself and everything.
Small batch, like 5-10 gallons at a time. So yeah, I'm right there watching and doing it the whole time. So it was a great.
And is this something that you do every day? That you're cooking sauces up every day?
Not every day, because like this past year with the pandemic, I was doing like every other weekend markets, like beer fests or whatever, and then all that got canceled when COVID hit, and that was the year that I was really gonna start to amp up and do more, go full time with it. So basically, only the local like farmers market type things were open. And so I just started doing those eventually. And then I just make sauce the days that I'm not doing something, or maybe I would make sauce early morning, then go to like a market in the afternoon. So very busy.
And how much time is devoted to sauces that you've already perfected and you're making and you know that are popular, and ones that are experimental?
That's getting harder and harder as I go along, because now I have 12 different sauces, whereas before I just had a couple. Now I've got 12 to keep up with, and I'm selling more as well. It's really like becoming a task.
So you have 12 sauces. Can you go through all 12 of them? Are they what we see there? I can make you bigger.
Sure. So
Maybe no, that is the best. Here, I'll take this away. There we go.
And then pineapple for Hawaiian. This one's really great. Not so hot. Just below medium heat. The Rebellion was one of the first ones I made as well. Like these first three. Rebellion had smoked sun-dried tomato, habanero, cherry bombs. Amazing on pizza. The lemon is like a bright yellow. It's got lemon drop peppers in it, so it's really great with fish, chicken, things like that. The Phantasm's like a gourmet sauce, a little bit hotter. And then we got the Parmesan oregano habanero hot slice. That one's pretty brand new. We have the collaboration sauce that I did with Smokin' Pickles out of Mechanicsburg, PA. They're an amazing butcher shop restaurant. He cold smokes 3 of the ingredients in this one, which makes it really amazing. And then we have the peach cobbler, basically a sweet heat, decent heat. And then we got these 3 that are kind of getting into the extra hot category. That's my jam. Is a strawberry and reaper. So you get a nice burst of fresh strawberry. Then the heat comes. The honey gives it a little bit of sweetness. The hot chocolate is like a mole. So it's got some cinnamon, Jamaican allspice, cacao, fig balsamic, reaper. Pretty hot, really tasty on like steak, pork chops. Revolutionary, also an extra hot, roasted bell and scorpion. You could probably put this one on anything. And then I also have the 7-pot collaboration. This one's my super hot. There's a guy on YouTube, Rob, who does 7-pot club. He does tons of videos about growing all kinds of things, super hot peppers. So he grew some, I grew some this past year. He mailed peppers to me. We put it all into this sauce, and it was like very, very cool.
So you can't make any more of that sauce then, or he's growing more peppers, so you can make more of that sauce.
Well, he's going to grow a few more and send them to me, but I'm growing the bulk of them. But I like keep it going, and this one actually might be like might like rotate peppers in and out so that it changes a little bit each year and gives people like another reason to buy, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. Like wine or something. It's different each year or whatever. So you spoke about growing a little bit. You grow your own peppers too, right?
Yes. I grew 640 plants last year. I grew like 240 the year before that. This year is going to be a good bit more than the 640. So it just seems like scaling up each year, like prepare for the next year. You know what I mean? And
are you?
I have to start the peppers in like December, January, so that I can put them out in like April and then get pods by August, September, October.
Gotcha. And are you able to supply yourself with enough peppers to make all your sauces, or do you also have to source ingredients elsewhere usually?
I do source like the jalapeno and the habanero just because they're really easy to get anywhere. So I just devote my time to growing like the super hots, the reaper, ghost pepper, things like that. But it's really cool to watch them grow. You know, I've never been into growing or like being a farmer or anything like that. But you quickly learn that, you know, a lot, and it's been an experience.
And you could develop your own proprietary peppers too, right?
Possibly.
Or breed your own.
Yeah. Actually had some crosses last year that I saved that were like really interesting. Somehow they crossed or did something. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to grow them out this year, see what happens. And maybe I'll have like my own, you know, whatever, hothead pepper sauce or whatever, you know, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think there was a Netflix show or something. I've watched something recently about hot sauces or something. And the championship stuff.
We Are Champions, yeah.
Yeah. And that one guy, the guy that was like one of the guru guys, had the farm, and he had like tons of peppers, obviously that he had spliced together and bred.
Pucker.
What's that?
Smoking Ed from Pucker Butt. He basically created the Carolina Reaper. I know a lot of people in that video, actually, Johnny Scoville and a few of the others. It's very cool to see them, eating the crazy hot peppers. There's no way I would do that. I mean, if you want to ruin like your next 2 days,
Yeah, I don't know how. It's crazy. I can't even take much hot sauce. I used to love it, and I can't take much of it anymore. Unless I have a towel on the ready and I know I'm not at a restaurant sweating my butt off. But you mentioned Scoville. I'm guessing his last name, that's part of his branding, is Scoville because of the Scoville system or rating system or whatever. For those of the people watching who may not know about the Scoville system, could you explain it a little bit?
Yeah, it's just a way of measuring basically a heat scale. I don't even know the full process, really. And I've never had one of my sauces tested because my sauces aren't like insanely hot, but they basically dilute it down, put it in a syringe, shoot it into this machine that calculates out exactly how many Scoville. I think originally they would just dilute it, and they would have to keep diluting it until they could taste zero heat, and then that's how they kind of figured it out. Now it's like really high tech.
Right. Well, a Scoville scale is when it's a measure of how hot something is. So if you're a 0 on the Scoville scale, there's 0 heat. And if you're, I don't know, those ghost peppers or Reaper peppers are thousands on the Scoville scale, right? I mean, some of them it's so many thousands that it's like, how do you even measure it?
Yeah, like a jalapeno is like 5,000 to 10,000 Scoville. A ghost pepper could be like 800,000 Scoville. A Reaper is going to be above 1 million Scoville. So, and there's people cropping peppers all the time and growing new peppers, and it's just getting like hotter and hotter and hotter. So, kind of crazy.
Yeah, people think jalapenos are the hot ones just because those are kind of the ones that are everywhere, and they think those are the hot peppers, but those are not really that hot.
Yeah, they're not.
And I've sometimes, when I've grown them at home or other people have grown them, and sometimes they're super hot and sometimes there's no heat on them from year to year, from plant to plant. Is that something you can predict, or you can watch, or how do you even control something like that?
I think that's something more with the lower heat peppers that you get some, because there's like shishitos where they don't have any heat, but you'll get like 1 in 10 that does have heat. But yeah, there's definitely a range. There's probably even a range for the super hots, but it's so unbelievably hot that you would never even know. I mean, you know what I mean? Unless you timed out long, you're like,
Right. So what other products? What?
It all depends on your tolerance too. If you're eating raw peppers every day, you're gonna have a much higher tolerance as opposed to someone who doesn't. Like Johnny Scoville eats raw peppers all the time. I don't. I have hot sauce sometimes. So.
Yeah, I'd be passing out and watering from the eyes. My eyes would be shut. It's crazy what those people are eating. One little pinhead of what they're eating would send us all to the bathroom, I think.
Sauce, I have to wear a mask most times. If you're dealing with dried pepper and making like powder or anything like that, it's good to be protected, because you will have the hardest cough, the hardest you've ever had.
Yeah, even when I just sprinkle like crushed red hot pepper on something while I'm cooking it, or sometimes I forget not to do that or to do it right at the end, so I'm not standing over breathing it the whole time, or make that mistake, or cooking anything hot. If you breathe it in, you get the idea. When I was younger, we went to Baltimore. There was like a hot sauce stand in the mall there, and I bought this, what they said was the hottest sauce on earth or something. I took it home, and then I would take it to school, and we would take it and rub it on people's, like, the lid of their drink, or like we would put it in their ketchup or something. My one friend tried it, and he was not happy about it, and it was not. I would not do this now, obviously. but he willingly tried it on his finger, forgot about it, later rubbed his eye, and then later I saw him running through the hallway to the biology lab, and he was rinsing his eye out in the eye wash station. And that was the last time I took the hot sauce to high school.
Yeah, I've been driving, and like afterwards, after making sauce or something, and I've just brushed my eye, and just immediate pain, stinging, can't see. You're like, oh my god. Yeah.
So do you wear gloves? You wear gloves.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, always gloves. You don't want to.
But
Go to the back of that either. You can get
yeah, or touch a cut or anything like that. But I'm sure you're around it all the time, so you're probably touching it without gloves all the time too, or you're walking past the pepper plants and you touch a pepper and then you forget you touched the peppers. And
you can pretty much touch peppers with your bare hands on the outside, but if there's any oil that like maybe got out, then you'd be in trouble. All the oil's on the inside, pretty much. Like I've picked reapers with my bare hands, but if you get one that's soft and you squeeze it or something, then it gets on your fingers, then you could be in trouble.
And a lot of the heat is in the membrane and the seeds. Is that what it is, or it's
not the seeds? Everybody thinks it's in the seeds, and everybody says that, but it's not. It's in like the membrane. It's basically the oil, so it's in that membrane. Oil does get on the seeds. And like some of these super hots, you'll see if you cut them open, they're just like dripping with oil. And that's like the really crazy stuff.
Gotcha. So the oil is in the membrane. And then when you're cutting it up and everything, I mean, it's in the rest of the pepper as well, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it coats the whole inside of the pepper pretty much. The seeds, the membrane, everything. It's the oil. That's how.
Gotcha. Is there an oil extraction process, or is that basically what you're doing when you make hot sauce?
There can be. I think, yeah, I mean, basically. But there are, some people make tinctures, which is basically putting the hot peppers into like a high alcohol, and then you just let it sit in there for however long you want it to sit. You pull the peppers off, and then you let the alcohol evaporate, and then they call that tincture. And then you like filter it a couple times maybe, and that's just like pure heat. It's great.
And you use an eyedropper. You see, if you watch that special, you'll see those guys using an eyedropper because they love it so much they actually do it because they're addicted to it, probably. What's that? I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. If you see somebody doing that, then you know they're one of the crazies, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. How could you even tolerate that? And you do get an endorphin rush out of that stuff. So could you get addicted to that actually physically if you did that all the time?
Yes, and people do. There's like Facebook, all these like people do tincture. They eat hot. They do challenge each other. You know, I'm part of the groups, but I don't like really do that. I don't have time to do it really. I like spend my whole day. I've done a drop of tincture before, and it just like numbed my whole tongue for like 20 minutes. And I was like, I don't really know that. I don't either. If you want to up your tolerance, just take some tincture, you know. And people are usually willing to send it to you too. They're like, "Oh, I made some. Let me send it." You're like, okay. You know,
I'll put like 2 drops in a vat of chili and I'll be good to go with it. So you're more of you like sauces, not necessarily burning your face off. So I find there's kind of 2 schools of hot sauce makers or sauce makers. There's the dudes that just love burning their faces off, and then people that kind of just like sauces, and they both like a little bit of both, obviously. But sounds like maybe you're on and a lot of those 12 sauces you named sounded like ones that might be on the milder side.
yeah, I mean, more on the mild side. If you asked a real chili head, they might say, you know, not hot enough or whatever. But I kind of make my sauce for the everyday. You know, I'm thinking about everybody a little bit more than just the chili head. I want like kids come up and kids will have like the first 3, and a lot of times they're fine with it. you know. So I'm trying to bring in people that are afraid of hot sauce or got asked by like a ghost pepper sauce that someone had them try, you know what I mean? There's so many stories where they're like, no, I got burnt one time, you know, like I'm like, yeah, but you haven't tasted like this craft hot sauce, you know what I mean? It's all about flavor and taste for me.
It's not about the heat. So you make 12 different sauces and you grow the peppers, well, some of the peppers for those sauces, and then you have some other stuff too. What other products do you have?
I do the two sauce collaborations, and then I also have this collaboration with Sweet Cheese and Pine Grove. Honey mustard onion pretzel on it, so that tastes amazing. We have the regular version, we have the super hot version that we just came out with, and then also Sweet Cheese. Basically a mixed nuts bag, but it has the same spice on with like some cinnamon and sugar. Amazing. Well,
so that Sweet Cheese, that's a local that Sweet Cheese is a local pretzel place, or that's one of your sauces.
It's a bakery in Pine Grove. I met her at a beer festival, and I was like, "Hey, we should like make a collaboration hot pretzel." And then eventually, a year later, it came to fruition. And yeah, it's been really good. Selling it at Smoke and Pickles, selling it at Hemauer Brewing Company. Hopefully, a bunch of others will start selling it as well. And it's really good. Like it says, "Drinking pretzel" on the top. So when you're having your beer, have a pretzel.
And so how does it, she makes the pretzels, obviously. Does she then coat them and flavor them and package them and everything, and you supply the flavoring, or how does that work when you do a partnership like that?
Yeah, exactly. She has like 12 different kinds or more that she makes of her own. And then we just took one of hers, the honey mustard onion. We added my spice blend to what she does with it, and it came out just tasted amazing. And you know, I wouldn't even have time to do it if I wanted to do it myself. You know what I mean? I'm getting so it's really great. Good partnership.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said pretzels and nuts. You said peanuts, right? Is it the same coating for the nuts? Did you say nuts?
Pretty much, except the nuts have like sugar and cinnamon as well. So it's like that holiday candied nut. And then you get the heat on the back end. It's really nice.
And then is there anything else or anything in the future that you plan on bringing out? Other than new sauces, obviously there's always new sauces coming.
Yeah, there are. I can't stop with the sauces and test batches and all that. But there's going to be something else coming in the future that's going to be like a sweet treat that's going to be hot. I don't know if I can talk about it yet. In about a month or two. And then tomorrow I'm supposed to be getting of spice jars, coming out with spice blends. I've had the labels for months and months and months, but I haven't been able to get the jars because of COVID and everything getting like messed up. So those are being delivered tomorrow, and hopefully I'll have those pretty soon. I've got 5 different spice blends. Some of them are kind of based on the sauces, like the lemon. There's a smoky one. There's a chocolate. There's a strawberry. So yeah, like really great for seasoning. Good for putting on like popcorn, stew, whatever, pizza, anything really.
Or as rubs on meats or something, or maybe you do the with the corresponding sauce, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. You could like double it up. You know, you could do powder and sauce. And then I'm also working on some things with Honeybee Friendly, who is local to Dillsburg. They make honey. They make a bunch of different things with all like bee products. So with him to create some hot another product product, which I'm super excited about, that I don't even want to talk about because I think it's going to be like no one else will have it. So I'm excited for that.
Awesome. So stay tuned. When are you coming out with that, or in the works, or when can people expect it?
I'm thinking this year, probably by summer. And Greg's at still Farmers Market. He's at the Carlisle Farmers Market on Wednesday. So yeah, a bunch of different markets you can find it at.
Nice. And you do shows, right? You go to people can find you out at shows and stuff at like brew fests and all those kind of things.
I do 5 different markets. So Hershey Market on Chocolate in Hershey. I do Dillsburg Saturday morning, and the Hershey on Chocolate Saturday morning, and then Wednesday in Carlisle on the Square in the afternoon, and then Shippensburg there's a ship market on Thursdays, and then on Tuesdays I'm at Roots Market like all day long Tuesday.
So you're at permanent recurring markets. How does that work? Do you pay for one of those slots, and how much does that cost at the typical market?
It varies, I guess, but I found that if you pay for like the whole season, it works out to like a pretty good price per day or per show that you're there. Yeah, so it just depends. You got to like weigh the time and the effort against what you might make, but it was really like those are what saved my year last year, and everybody wants to support local, which was amazing. And I really kind of built my customer base last year doing these markets and stuff.
Yeah, direct sales is how you build a brand.
Yeah.
And everything's available online. Is that what you were about to say?
Yeah, everything's available online. We got T-shirts, we got hats that we just got. Rockmill Industries are doing those for us. They're a local company. We try and keep it local as much as we can. I'll probably have some possible sweatshirts later, like at the fall time. Yeah, just a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, that's great. But before we bring it up on the screen so everybody can see it and make sure they go there to get it, let's do our random question that has nothing to do with your hot sauces. Or actually, I should ask you first, is there anything else you want to add before we go out? I think we talked about the other products you're coming out with in the future, one secret one that has some kind of honey involved with it or something. Always new sauces coming out. You got the pretzels, you have peanuts. Are there any other products that we missed or anything?
There's going to be some stuff, but I probably can't even talk about it. Just go to the website, follow us on social media, and then you'll see, we always making announcements about everything. So
awesome. Let's so I just Google funny questions, and then there are 81 funny questions on this list, and then you get to pick a number between 1 and 75, and then I'll read 3 of the questions and you can answer one of them. So this has nothing to do with hot sauce or you or me or anything. So pick a number between 1 and 75. 10. Yeah. All right. 10. Okay. What is the funniest joke you know by heart? In 40 years, what will people be nostalgic for? Or what are the unwritten rules of where you work? So I'll read them one more time. What is the funniest joke you know by heart? In 40 years, what will people be most nostalgic for? Or what are the unwritten rules of where you work? So you can answer any one of those.
Well,
a written rule of where you work is putting gloves on and don't touch your junk or your eyeballs, probably.
There are no rules except don't be touching anything. Funny story, my son, I had seeds laying out drying on paper plates. My son came in pulling seeds off of a pepper, it was a
Oils.
one, so I didn't really think much of it. But 2 minutes later, I had a very upset, crying young man dying, pouring milk into his eyes and mouth and nose everywhere. So
what do you do? What do you do? What's the best lesson? Is it milk? Is it wash your eyes out with water? What do you do for all that stuff? Or you just wait?
Definitely not water, because water spreads oil around. Milk, or I think I've used like baby powder to try and suck the oil out of my skin. You know what I mean? I want to get the oil away out. So, but sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Sometimes you just gotta suffer till it dissipates. You know, get it in your eye or something like that. There's not much you can do.
Yeah, I mean, it's mace, it's pepper spray. It's when people get maced or pepper sprayed, you're hurting until it just dissipates, right? There's no remedy for it. They don't take you down to the station and then wash your eyes out.
Yeah, crying's probably the best way. Just flush them.
Or I guess water could work if you flushed it long enough to kind of get it out of there. It maybe not work in the short term, but in the long term, if you washed it out, it might work.
It's not fun.
Yeah, and you have to hold your eyeballs open long enough to shoot water directly onto them. That's a challenge in itself, probably. All right, so I'll put your stuff up on the screen and everybody can see it as we go out. But read it aloud so the people that might be listening to it later on audio can hear it. So tell them where to find your website and your email we have up.
Yeah. www.hotheadsofficial.com. Hotheads@hotheadsofficial is the email. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook @hotheadsofficial. You can order like straight through the Instagram page and Facebook. So we got the shop all set up now. Super easy to order and be around at those 5 markets starting in May. I'm at Roots right now, and I'm at the Shippensburg market every other week right now, but also a couple of local stores, the Cumberland shop in Shippensburg, Smokin' Pickles in Mechanicsburg, Faye's Country Kitchen in Carlisle. I think Market Cross Pub might have some of the stuff in Carlisle. And Harrisburg Gardens just opened. That's like all local vendors as well. So.
Nice. You got me craving. My mouth is watering for sauces, so I'm gonna go to Smokin' Pickles and pick some up today, I think.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we're gonna close it out, and I'm gonna leave his information up as we. Big delay. Say whatever you wanted to say, and then I'll close this out.
No, I'm good.
All right. I'll leave the information up. You guys can head over to hotheadsofficial.com and hit him up on email, hotheads@hotheadsofficial.com. And he's all those shows that he named, and over at Smokin' Pickles and a few other places that you can get them retail-y. And I'm going to head over to Smokin' Pickles and get some today, I think, because I'm going to make I make this bomb-ass vegetarian buffalo chicken sandwich, but it's actually made with hash browns. And you can't even tell the difference, and it's the bomb. So I'm going to make one of those with one of your sauces tonight, something mild. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So anybody, as we go out, if you're interested in a business spotlight package, which includes Greg coming to your business, trying out your business, showing behind the scenes, maybe he would come to Hotheads and like try making a sauce or something like that if he wanted to. And then you do an interview and marketing talk, not even a marketing talk anymore, just an interview and more in-depth talk with me here, like you're seeing with me and Tim, and then a networking mixer at your business. To get some people at your business and hopefully get you some business. If you're interested in one of those, you can go to supportcentralpa.com and apply there. I can tell you that if you want a proper spotlight with all 3 of those things, we are booked out till like September or so, I think. But if you want to do an episode with me, like you're seeing here, just reach out to me and we can set that up. And to get exclusive special offers, to get access to our special offers, join our email list at supportcentralpa.com. It's one email a week, and it's me drafting them. And sometimes they're late. This week's is very, very late. And I just froze, I think. I think I'm unfrozen. Join our Facebook group. Head over to Facebook. This has been a very glitchy, and I apologize for that. Anybody that's watching, a very glitchy, very delayed, very blah, blah, blah episode. So anybody that bared with us, thank you. If you're not on Facebook, please head over there and support Central PA Small Business. Again, at 1 o'clock in 20 minutes from now, we will be on Clubhouse. I'm at Agent Derek, and you can find me on there and follow me and get into that room to network with other Central PA small businesses. Contact me if you're buying or selling a home. We really, really, really need inventory right now. Prices are sky high. Text me, email me, throw a rock through my window, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. We need houses to sell. Remember to support Central PA small businesses like Hotheads, Hot Sauce, official Hot Sauce, and Tim, and check him out at one of the shows. And like I said, I'm going to head over to Smokin' Pickles, which everybody keeps telling me about. So I need to go to that place anyway. So I'm going to head over there probably after this and after the Clubhouse room, head over to Smokin' Pickles and get some sauce and maybe get something else there. They make pickles too, right?
I'm not sure if they have pickles.
No?
They have tons of cuts of everything.
Okay, so I don't even know what it is. I'm going to find out what it is and get some sauce there. So thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. Say goodbye, Tim.
Thank you. Bye, Tim.
Thanks for bearing with the delay, everybody.